The penultimate episode of Skeleton Crew was just released, and let me tell you, it's the best one so far. This week's installment flipped everything on its head and completely changed the trajectory of Jod's story. Packed with twists and turns, it also showed us that no matter how hard the kids try, sometimes it just isn't enough.
We need to take the ship back.
Given the type of show this is, I think we all hope for a happily ever after, but let's be honest, that idea is firmly out the window now. With everything boiling down to a heated confrontation on Atatin and the odds firmly stacked against the kids, are we in line for one more big surprise? Before we dive in, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video and subscribe for more of our Skeleton Crew and wider Star Wars coverage. Now, without further ado, let's get into episode 7 titled, We're Gonna Be in So Much Trouble.
My mom totally lied on that call. We're gonna be in so much trouble. But I don't even care anymore.
But you should.
With both the kids and the pirates on their way to Atatin, the stage is set for a showdown neither side is truly prepared for. Meanwhile, deep in Atatin's forest, the parents are taking matters into their own hands. Having lost faith in the supervisor who refused to contact the Republic for fear of exposure, they've decided to act. They've created what I can best describe as a drone equipped with a barrier access key, designed to navigate the storm and broadcast a message beyond the barrier. The parents, caught by the planet's security droids, are forced into a chaotic game of pass the parcel with the device, taking it in turns being stunned until Farah successfully launches it. The drone carries a pre-recorded message urging the kids to contact the Republic for help. Of course, the parents are unaware of the pirates or the dangers the kids have faced. For all they know, the kids could have simply been waiting on the other side of the barrier to be rescued. While this may seem like a small detail, what they've pulled off could have a massive impact on Atatin's future. We know the pirates intercept the broadcast and the kids hear it, but what if they're not the only ones? Their last-ditch attempt to save the kids might not just dictate the show's outcome, it could alter Atatin's place in the galaxy. With the kids on the verge of their long-awaited return home, we see just how far they've come as characters. From their initial reluctance to leave home at the start of the season to not fully embracing the adventure, but being grateful for it, along with the bonds they've formed, now realise it's been the experience of a lifetime. The pirates, on the other hand, remain fractured. As they approach Atatin, Brutus describes what they're met with as a toxic maelstrom, a near impenetrable storm that few would dare to enter. The barrier's brilliance lies in its deception, disguising a treasure planet as nothing more than a dead zone, totally uninteresting to anyone passing by. This leads to frustrations boiling over aboard the frigate, with Brutus accusing Jod of leading them on a wild goose chase fueled by nothing more than fables. At this point, Brutus has just about had enough of Jod's crap and is ready to flush him out the airlock. But 33 steps in and buys him a little bit of time, confirming that Tak Renner's log did in fact describe the planet as being hidden by an endless storm. Despite Jod's initial offer to breach the storm himself, likely because anywhere is better than being stuck on a frigate with Brutus, they send a volunteer only to see them fail. This shows us just how formidable the jewels of the Old Republic defences are. Whilst it raises a pretty interesting question, if Ren had the knowledge to plunder them all, what did he do with their treasures? Surely what we saw in his vault can't be everything. It's here Jod has a lightbulb moment.
I got it! I've got it! I've got it!
That the Onyx Cinder itself must be the key for passing through. And he's right, as the ship is revealed to actually be an Atatin vessel, likely commandeered by Renard long ago with this exact purpose in mind. Using their tractor beam, the pirates pull the Onyx Cinder on board, ready to lay their hands on a treasure once and for all. Now, let's pause for a moment to digest what's just been revealed because it's pretty huge. Jod casually drops in that Atatin has been hidden for hundreds of years, which lines up with the theory that the planet actually disappeared during the High Republic era, not the Old Republic period that many believe when Kim first mentioned it. The use of the term the Great Work by Atatin's inhabitants further adds weight to this idea. It's a phrase we've encountered before in the High Republic novels, where it's often tied to the era's ambitious projects, but there's more we need to think about here, like the lightsaber in Renard's lair. On the surface, it's easy to chalk it off as just another treasure that he's picked up on his travels, as we know this guy took whatever he wanted. But let's think back to the High Republic era for a second, and if you don't know all that much about it, don't worry, we've got you covered. The galaxy wasn't exactly at peace. Shock horror, I know. But the Republic were dealing with their own dangerous threat for a group of relentless pirates known as the Nihil, which without doubt were a lot worse than the pirates the New Republic are dealing with today. So if Atatin was hidden during this turbulent time, you have to ask who the galaxy would trust enough to oversee and actually be capable of protecting it. For me, you can't really look beyond the Jedi Order at this stage. I think Tak Renard actually attacked a Jedi that was stationed on Atatin in the role of supervisor. Perhaps they work shifts, with him intercepting them at the midway point, seized their ship and turned it into the Onyx Cinder. while he left their lightsaber behind in his vault. If this turns out to be the case, it opens up yet another exciting possibility, that the supervisor is an Order 66 survivor. Let's be real, the role would have been passed from one person to another, otherwise the original person would just grow old and die, leaving no one to run the planet. There's a real possibility this could happen all the way up to the Jedi Purge, where the last one would have been stranded, unable to leave, instead residing on the planet, fulfilling their last duty, knowing the galaxy outside the barrier was now far too dangerous to return to. Anyways, after threatening to board Yonick Cinder, Brutus is grabbed by the ship's claw, the same one we've seen the kids playing with earlier in the season. It reminds me of those arcade machines, the ones you never win from. For Brutus, there's no escape. Defenseless, Jod senses the time is right to make his move. Using the Force, he frees himself from his cuffs, which is something he clearly could have done at any time, but just like when he was back on Port Borgo, he was waiting for the right moment. He picks up Brutus' blaster and kills him in front of the crew, reclaiming the title of captain. Now, with the pirates firmly under his command and in control of Yonick Cinder, Jod once again rocks around like the pirate version of Darth Vader. For me, this is peak Jod. The frigate picks up what turns out to be that heartfelt message sent through the barrier by the parents, urging them to find the Republic. The parents are clearly unaware of what the kids have gone through or the issue of the pirates. However, inspired, the kids begin formulating a plan to retake Yonick Cinder. Wim, letting his motions get the better of him, jumps the gun and makes a go for him, which was never going to work. It does, however, spark a debate over who has commanded Yonick Cinder right now, as according to the pirate code, a captain can only lay claim to one ship, and Jod's just taken over the frigate, leaving the kids to claim the ship for themselves. Byrne literally unclaims Jod's last-minute claim and claimed it for herself and the kids. After a short period of visual confusion, in a pretty surprising twist, 33 actually accepts it, takes out the crew and gives Jod the punch he so desperately deserves. With 33's help, the kids navigate the storm until they finally catch a glimpse of Anakin from above, which is clearly a surreal and emotional moment for him. The feeling of finally making it back after everything they've endured. Their moment, however, is pretty short-lived, as it turns out Jod stowed away during their escape. Making himself known, 33 rushes to confront him. Unlike before, this time Jod doesn't back down. Instead, he keeps his pace, ignites the lightsaber and decapitates the droid in front of the horrified kids. This moment is honestly brutal. For Wim, 33 wasn't just a droid, he was a friend. Remember back on Lanupa when he was concerned about 33, wondering if he was alright? It's even worse considering this came at the hand of someone who not so long ago was giving Wim life advice. The young lad looked up to him for much of the season, trying to work out if he was like one of those Jedi in his stories. Jod's brutality doesn't stop there. He takes it a step further by threatening the kid's parents, who he's now seen in the broadcast, even going as far as igniting the lightsaber to terrify them into submission. This scene also echoes Anakin's Order 66 moment with the younglings. After this, I really can't see a way back for this guy. Now on Tatooine, the parents are facing the consequences of their security breach. However, we suddenly hear the supervisor speak for the first time over Latanoy, finally put a voice to the name by announcing the Republic's arrival. KP's parents know the kids are on board as they're picking up a signal from her life monitor for the first time since they left. Believing Jod is from the Republic, as per protocol, he's taken straight down to the Mint, where he's totally awestruck by the 1,139 vaults of Mint Old Republic credits, a nod to George Lucas's movie THX 1138, which could actually indicate that one of these vaults could be destroyed in the finale. Anyways, Jod's focus shifts to contacting the frigate. If he wants full control of the Mint and not just a single shipment, he'll need their support. And to do this, he's got to meet the supervisor and disable the barrier. The episode closes out with Jod overwhelmed by his newfound wealth before igniting his lightsaber and approaching the kids and their parents, who have just shared a heartwarming reunion. With the supervisor's identity purposely hidden from us this long, the stage is set for the truth to finally come out in what promises to be an explosive finale. For me, there's no way back for Jod at this point. Initially, I thought the supervisor might turn out to be the show's big bad, with Jod having a change of heart and helping the kids, but now, this close to the end, I just don't see it being the case. The supervisor is voiced by Stephen Fry, who's worked previously with Jude Law in Sherlock Holmes' A Game of Shadows. If Fry ends up portraying the supervisor in the flesh rather than just a voiceover for an alien, given he's almost 70, it would align with the theory that the supervisor is an Order 66 survivor. This would make a lot of sense. He'd need to have a serious gravitas because, let's face it, the kids, the parents, and the entirety of Tatooine aren't prepared for a war with the pirates. At this point, the supervisor really is their last hope, which ties perfectly into the show's theme of extraordinary events potentially taking place on your doorstep.
You can see
grand adventures even in a rotten galaxy like this.
Now, there's also another way this could play out, and it's one with huge implications for Atatin and the wider galaxy. What if the broadcast the parents sent out doesn't just reach the pirate frigate, but also the New Republic? John is clearly intent on contacting his crew, likely leading to the barrier being brought down, and while this would allow the pirates to storm the planet, it would also give the New Republic opportunity to swoop in and save the day. It's possible Atatin's location isn't actually too far away from the core worlds like Coruscant, as we know the kids learn about the neighbouring planets at school, so the signal reaching them isn't really far-fetched at all, and it could also pave the way for some pretty exciting cameos, Carson Teva for example.
You want to work for the New Republic?
He's been in every single show set during this point in the timeline, yet he's been absent here, and Din and Grogu are now working for the New Republic. They've dealt with pirates before, so it's not entirely out of the question for them to show up either. If that happens, it could serve as a fantastic way to tease the Mandalorian and Grogu movie as well. The episode, I feel, was a real turning point for the show, without doubt delivering the most shocking moments of the season. The kids who have really come of age and grew into their roles faced their darkest yet, one that tested their trust, resilience and sense of hope. Seeing Jod's brutal decapitation of SM-33 while he then proceeded to threaten their parents, there's really no coming back from that. While we've seen droids decapitated and then repaired countless times before, so SM-33 will most likely be okay, there's no repairing the emotional damage that's been done. So with Atatin almost firmly in Jod's grasp, and the mysterious supervisor poised to make an appearance, do you think he's going to be the one to save the day? Or is it down to the kids or perhaps even the New Republic? As always, drop your thoughts, theories and wilder speculation down in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like on today's video if you've enjoyed it, and remember to subscribe if you'd like to catch more. I'll see you in the next one, and may the Force be with you.